Hey everyone, Vince Bryant here with BAM Weather. Hey, want to really give it a brand new look and tutorial here into our Clarity platform, specifically for outdoor events. For all of you that are going to be dealing, especially with outdoor events, I want to make sure you guys know how to most effectively use the platform, some tools, some tips, some tricks to make sure that you guys are getting the most out of this in terms of, again, tools specifically designed to help you out in the event space here, especially outdoors. So I first want to go ahead and take a look. This is what the kind of revamped radar will look like on the kind of website version here. The app is incredibly similar on a phone or tablet here. You can see radar as well as your locations off to the right. Obviously, I have a bunch of locations here. You may only have one or a couple. This is where you'll monitor them. If I want to go in and click on one, that'll take you to that spot here. What I first want to do is I kind of want to break down the kind of before an event, during an event, so on and so forth in terms of where to look for information. So I want to start, let's say we're a few days out here. I'm going to go to one of my locations here, and what I want to show you is, let's say we're, again, we'll call it 24 plus hours out. We want to know, hey, our event upcoming, is there any risks? We are going to be on the home tab here. The maps, the long range, those are good tabs to look at. They may not give you exactly the information you need. What I'm gonna kind of draw your attention to is the daily tab here. That is where you're gonna look, obviously, for the next 10 days here, for the 10-day forecast. This is a quick little synopsis, in terms of percentages, temps, wind. But what I really wanna draw your attention to is this blue dot and this blue bar. These are brand new on Clarity. These are what we call daily forecast insights. What these are our team of meteorologists injecting their thoughts right into the forecast as to what we think is going to happen, how we think the application is doing, and what we expect in terms of trends. Is this 40%? Is it too low? Could this 10% be dropped down to 0%? So what I want to do, just like any sort of forecast here, we're going to click on any day. It doesn't really matter. That's going to pop up the detailed 10-day forecast, which again, you can see has all the information you need. It is very similar to the porthole in terms of the 10-day for those of you that were on the weather porthole. What I want to, again, draw your attention to, look at the 2 days that are kind of highlighted in this blue in this forecast insight. I want to click on this to get the latest thoughts from a meteorologist on that day. If you don't see an insight, it's likely because the team agrees with the app and there's really not much additional to discuss, at least at this time. But notice how one of our meteorologists here has quite a bit of information of risks, areas to watch. You can see your app is handling things well. But if I click on this image, we can go in and look and say, okay, Central Oklahoma, we need to watch for some heavier trends on the data. So this is an awesome tool whenever you're several days out to get the thinking, hey, is there severe weather possible? Do we need to watch for a strong storm system? Is the app too aggressive? So on and so forth. And so that is injected right into the application here. So you don't have to guess, is this 50% too high? Well, guess what? Our team's going to tell you that before you even have to really start to wonder that. So that is on the daily tab, again, looking days down the road. Now, let's say you still want a little bit more information here. Just like, again, for those of you that were on the weather porthole, the chat feature. We highly, highly, highly encourage you to use this. I'm going to go ahead and test this out. So I'm going to say, is there severe weather possible for my event next Saturday? And really the awesome thing about this, guys, team of meteorologists standing by wanting to answer my question here. You're guaranteed a response within 5 minutes that they're going to go ahead and look and check things out here. So that gets input right into our data. The team will start to look into that. That is what we're going to do if we're, again, are multiple days out here. Now I'm going to hit these 3 bars to go back. I want to talk about if we're kind of 24 hours out or something is ongoing, kind of the close to the event here. I'm going to kind of go ahead and zoom into one of the locations currently. Notice what we're dealing with in terms of the hourly forecast here. If I click on this, notice how there's these blue dots and a blue bar. Once again, I'm on the home tab, not the daily like I was looking days down the road, but the hourly, looking in the immediate term here, the next, again, 24 hours. If I need to know, what does 70% mean? What am I looking at? I have all of this thinking right here in terms of a future loop, in terms of, in this case, wintertime, a refreeze risk. These sort of things, if there's a severe weather risk, it'll be laid out here. You'll have our human meteorologists inserting their kind of thoughts and opinions on how the data is doing or things you need to look at. So again, it's great to see 10% and different percentages and whatnot or wins, but it's very important you're checking out the insights, as that is our team analyzing all the data and giving you a key takeaway found right there in the hourly. Again, let's say it's 3 p.m. and your event starts at 8 p.m. You can simply go, how are we looking for the next 5 hours? Severe weather, question mark, whatever the case may be, you send it off. And again, obviously this was an example to where Matt was letting me know he was looking. He knew this was kind of a tutorial here, but the team is there. They're responding within 5 minutes to let you know, hey, we're taking a look. Let me get right back to you while I assess the situation. So again, whenever we're talking about several hours out, it's the hourly tab. Look for those insights as well as the chat tab. Last thing that I want to show you, two things here, is whenever things are ongoing, especially for those of you impacted by lightning, I'm going to head over to my location here, my test location. We have an inner ring and an outer ring. Very similar to those of you that were on the weather porthole in terms of range rings. These are fully customizable in terms of distance, in terms of time. I'll show you that here. Notice this little lightning strike that was just south of my area by about 20 miles here. That was, again, I get this ring that's green. It turns orange once I get a lightning alert, a notification, guys. These are instantaneous, within a second or two. You're not waiting minutes for these. This is the fastest lightning data out there. It is very, very good. So whenever there's something going on, if you're concerned about lightning, set these rings up. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But the other awesome feature that we have is I'm going to go back to one of my locations that currently has a Nowcast. You may be used to seeing these in the chat tab. Notice I'm on the home tab, the Now screen. What's going on right now? Notice here as I scroll down, some text detailing out what's going on as well as an image. This is very crucial that we're checking this out. This gives detail as to what we're looking at here in terms of timing, in terms of percentages, totals, wind gusts, you name it here in this area. So again, this would be a case where if you have an event ongoing, there's lightning around, timing of a cell, be sure to check here and then also use that chat tab. I continue to harp on that because it's so important that you guys are, not just, 30%. We want to help you understand what that 30% means and say, hey, yeah, that is very hit and miss. That is just being clipped by the northern edge of a system. Let us help you. We really want to help you guys out to where you're not guessing and we can tell you, hey, this is what we're favoring, this is what we're seeing, this is what that really means here. So again, on the Now tab, we're looking at the Nowcast. The hourly, we're looking for the insights. The daily, we're looking for the insights. Again, in this case, there's no insight found because all of this data we agree with. So that's how you look at that information here. Now, in terms of I'll go back to my test location here. If we want to change things up, I'm gonna go over to the pencil icon. This is how you edit your location. Notice if you have lightning on your subscription, you will have those options here. And notice this lightning alerts. I can change these to if I within 30 miles, whatever I want this to be. I could change this to 5 and 10. If my kind of warning ring is 10 miles and my action ring is 5 miles, I change that. If I want to know when lightning is fully out of my rings, I can change that. Fully customizable in that regard, as well as your location. If you have multiple locations that you need to keep an eye on, you can either type in the address or you can use this point feature and click around. If I were to hit save, that would change my dot to this new forecast and a new forecast would be generated. So guys, I hope this helps in terms of what to look for and what's new with Clarity. Please reach out in the chat feature if you have any questions whatsoever or email us info@bamwx.com. Guys, thanks for watching.